So you've got yourself the great A10 Mini switcher, and you've got a camera with two XLR inputs, and you want to make use of the fact that you've got those professional quality audio inputs and bring in two microphones into the camera, and then via HDMI send both the picture and the audio from those two microphones to your A10 Mini switcher and live stream that. But when it reaches your A10 Mini switcher, you find that the audio from the microphones is either left channel or it's right channel, but it's not both. And you can't figure out how to make it both because that's what you want and it's driving you a bit mad. Let's fix that right now. Hi, my name's Carlos. I'm a producer, director and content creator based near London. And if this is your first time on my channel, this channel is all about how to create better content, whether that's workflow, technique or equipment. I want to help you make better content. So consider subscribing. And with that, let's step into the video. What I'm going to show you is mentioned in the A10 Mini manual, but for a really useful piece of information, I think it's kind of buried in there. The relevant section is on page 76, but if you're anything like me, you'll probably prefer a quick walkthrough video. So just to go through the setup, I've got the A10 Mini connected to my streaming laptop with the ATEM software control running. And remember, you need to have the A10 Mini connected and powered on to allow that software to launch. I've gone to the audio tab. I have just one camera connected to the A10 Mini. It doesn't matter what kind, just as long as it's got XLR inputs. I happen to have the JVC GY-LS300, but I've used the Sony FS7 on several shoots to the same effect. The video doesn't matter for this demonstration. In fact, I've got the lens cap on. This is just about audio. To that end, I've got two mics running into the camera's XLR inputs. Again, the type doesn't matter. These could be radio mics, shotgun mics. The idea is the same. In this case, I've got a Samson C02 condenser mic on a long XLR cable going into input 1. Into input 2, I've got the camera's little condenser external top mic, which you'd usually use for ambient audio capture, not proper dialogue, but as I say, for the purpose of this demo, that's fine. Both mics require phantom power, so that's been selected on the camera, but again, if this was a line or mic signal, it makes no difference. And then the audio captured by the mics is going to be sent with the video from the camera to the A10 Mini via HDMI cable. In this case, I'm going into the A10 Mini's input 1. So let's examine what happens in the ATEM software control when we speak into the mics with everything set to default. This is me speaking into the Samson microphone on the long XLR cable going into the camera's input 1. The audio from this microphone is going into the left channel. So if you're wearing headphones, it will only really be audible in your left ear, although a little bit might be picked up inadvertently by the other microphone, which is, I would say, 3 meters away. I'm now about 20 centimeters away from the camera, and I'm speaking into the little condenser mic that's mounted onto the camera and being fed into the camera's XLR input 2. You'll probably be hearing everything in your right ear, although once again a little bit is being picked up by the other microphone, which is, as I say, about 3 meters away, tucked around the corner. But primarily you're just hearing in your right ear. All we need to do is open the settings by clicking on the gear cog on the bottom left of the interface. With that open, select the Split Audio tab. There you simply need to click on whichever camera input you wish to affect, in this case input 1. I'm speaking once again into the Samson condenser microphone on the long XLR cable going into the camera's XLR input 1. However, now the output is dual mono. So if you're wearing headphones, you should be hearing this on both your left and your right side. Once again, I've positioned myself about 20 centimeters away from the little condenser microphone, which is going into XLR input 2. It's a dual mono output now though, so you should be hearing it clearly in both your left and your right sides. And the great thing is you could do this for all 4 cameras you could connect, which in turn means you could bring into the stream up to 8 different microphones via those camera HDMI cables. So high quality from, say, 8 different contributors with their own lav mics. And if you select to keep the audio on, from each HDMI input. In other words, you do not select AFV, audio follows video. The audio from those 8 mics could be sent to the stream even if the associated video from the contributor's camera is not currently live. That is superb. I really do love the A10 Mini. Anyway, hope you found this useful, and if you did, hit that like button.